Hey everyone, this is Gabriel. I just wanted to talk about like the materials that we saw in class, right? And from for the video journal, right? Some of the things like housing inequality. I think one of the biggest I think things to takeaways from the video was the fact that a lot of the costs of home building is pretty much in the materials, and as well, there's things like regulations, the various taxes that you go through, and then building permits, and it's one of the biggest ways that like housing inequality is exacerbated, right? The fact that there's so much like laws and regulations, and there's so much hoops you have to go through when trying to build a house. And I think one of the main takeaways I've gotten from this is the fact that it doesn't need to be that way. Making it so you can have like affordable housing. It's it's a supply and demand thing, right? I agree with that, but I also think that there is some things like, of course, making sure like houses are safe for people, not just building on unsafe land. But I think there is a limit. I think there is a I think that is a smaller problem, because I think I believe there is out there is a force that is regulating this amount of houses. Like I don't know where I saw this from, but I saw that in big cities, a lot of houses are owned, but not like no one's living there, and they're owned by like people like BlackRock, Vanguard, like real like very rich investing companies with tons of money to spend on this. Like if we live in in a housing market where we're competing with some of the biggest and richest companies on earth, who's gonna win? You know, I don't think we are. And I think it's really important to know that, because I agree that it's a supply thing, but the supply is being eaten up by these insanely rich companies that, of course, they're boosting up the prices of housing to make more money from their investments, right? Like when they boost up the prices of housing, they make money off of it because they're the ones who own the house. So I think I think that was one of the things that differed a lot compared to the video watch, the one on let's see, the one on Trump versus Harris, how they solved the housing crisis. I don't think this is a political issue. I think this is more of an issue that it's a capitalism thing, and I really just I'm tired. We're in this late stage capitalistic age where is like everything is has to be extreme as possible, and this is one of those housing inequality. Like where I lived in San Francisco, I lived in the Visitation Valley area, where it's one of the most neglected areas of San Francisco. Like it's so far away. Like they don't even get the representation they need in city halls and stuff, because often like we're ignored. So I understand that this problem is very bad, and that we need some ways to alleviate this. I think there. I know this is not probably not gonna happen, but I think there should be a cap on how much investors or and big corporations are able to own. Like there should no house houses are made to be lived in, right? There should be no way for houses to be bought and then not lived in. I think there should be a social, a tax that would. I think that would fix one of the problems, because it's if they're holding onto these much houses that are not lived in, then like how is the market ever gonna be fixed? You know. Thank you guys very much for listening to whatever I was talking about. It was fun. Thank you very much.